Ну что ж, ну здорово всем снова. Бродяги-симпатяги. Оу, да. У нас тем временем продолжение, прохождение Kingdom Come, Deliverance. Оу, да. У меня просто ночь, поэтому я буду разговаривать тихо. Но надеюсь, меня слышно. А так. Пум-парум-парум-пум-пум. Всем приятного просмотра. Мы в прошлой серии вернулись в фортицы. Ну да. Здесь мы немножечко повыполняли всякие разных заданий. Вот. Сейчас мы будем помогать Мельнику. Good boy, doggy. Угу. Ясненько. Ну, пойдем.
Christ, pardon me.
Почему я... А, у меня мыла нет. Угу. Я почему-то думал, что у меня есть мыло. Что тут? Ю. Блин, тут можно рыбачить, интересно? И надо было с той стороны пойти. Вот и дурак. Ладно. Не беда.
Quick! Quick! Go!
Ого, это что сейчас было? Блин, я переехал, да? Надо обратно.
Whoa! Yeah! Go! Go! Yeah! Yeah! Whoa!
I'll be with you, sir.
I'm Henry, Miller of Crazels. He sent me to search for a niter pit. and said you might be able.
Of course I will.
Bonnie.
It's not the name I would. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. What should we call you?
Враницкий мясник.
The Butcher of Vranik.
Well, you know what? I'll come up with a nickname for. Did you?
Actually, Crazel's.
He's right there.
I'm sorry.
I reckon I'll just have to.
What kind of magic?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head. And just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
Да, это хрень.
I think it's all a load of shit. Just some hocus pocus to cover up shameless robbery.
Well now, so you're a bailiff's man and you're on our trail?
No. It's just I'm not as naive as you seem to think.
Look out! Behind you!
What?
Just testing how alert you are. You know, if a golem punches you, you won't get up again. Whether you're naive or not. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flowers. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's soul...
Ну давай.
No. I have plenty of time.
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zenek in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me. I had to hide out here for a while, so life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zenek, and so I'm glad the Millers finally found a normal hand for what. You've got a beautiful dog.
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
Among the wolves. Not a word of that is. I lost him, and then found him again in a.
Well, I used to have a dog, but
He died.
he started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating. Just slept. But what's done? And what about you? What kind?
It's not important where I come from, but where I belong. I seek out the company of clever people who have something to say.
You must be pretty excited about. What do you think of the old man?
Не знаю, что сказать.
I don't know what to say.
I understand. Best not to buy. Thanks for talking to me. But now, before you came, and before Zenek fucked up with the manuscript, we collected It has to be scraped from the walls. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked. Anyhow, now all the stars in the region are scraped clean and.
Barrett.
But we did bloody thorough job. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least.
6 times.
I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms.
Certainly. You take a damp wall, like in a sty, you let the water evaporate from it, and you get this.
That's right. But like I told you, all the sty walls in the region are scraped clean. Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is wrong. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than.
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from.
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's.
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels.
Jesus. And you.
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are a person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't.
Живодер?
You mean a knack?
Exactly. And the one we have.
Well, I haven't met him yet,
The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz.
so I'm in for a walk to the
Seems like. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so he's always dragging those carcasses. So I'm sure he'd appreciate us.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go. Lots of the butcher of Vrani.
Why do you work for the miller?
Because he pays well and don't care how much coin I make.
You mean...
And
What did you do?
I got by any way I could. Believe...
You? A nun? Well, why not? I was in the cloister.
Oh well. Different people have different fates. But we all end...
What do you think about...
You're another one of those that don't... Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with him, you can... But sometimes...
What do you know about the Troskovitz grave?
He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the... And he appreciates when a fella's direct and open.
So, Bonnie, the most... I'd like to see some dead animals as models for painting a church fresco.
That might be...
How was the saltpeter collection and tasting again?
It wasn't so... Xena kept whining about it, but when you go and clean someone's sty, they don't pay... We made a pretty decent...
What, by stick?
Confiscating property for the greater glory...
Tell me something more about...
He's Andy, that's for sure. To be honest, I don't care for Crazel's bullshit most of... He does everything for his own good. Actually, he really pisses me off with his attitude. And he... Dunga, for instance. What kind of a bloody or...
Oh, lovely.
Scruffy. Or Jan, Nicholas, Franz. He tries to be careful, but then he opens his big mouth and fucks it all up. Just like...
What is this?
Crazel built a store so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hen...
You mean behind that board?
We're definitely not doing anything there right now. I told Xenek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place will get...
I'd like to learn...
What are you in... See you later, my friend.
Понял. Могильщик, сука. Давай. Он загадки задает. Вроде как.
Likewise. What can I do for you?
If you lend me a little time and a listening ear, I have another riddle for you.
Давай, давай.
Happenstance
Загадки
has
люблю.
thrust us together again.
So,
If you can spare a while, I have another riddle.
do you really just wander the world?
I do. Always walking, sometimes hobbling, occasionally, but so far, I've...
Tell me where you...
Right. I'm sort of from everywhere.
And where did your journey...
Believe it or not, in Prague.
Ну давай.
A harder riddle, you say?
That first riddle was just a test to make it more. Even a poor vagrant like... What do you...
Давай.
Why not?
Listen carefully. Once upon a time, there was a fool of a farmer. Family he had none, no stable boys either. So he talked to
Если
his
что, я не
animals
смотрю в
instead.
интернете ничего.
And, good man that he was, whenever he made a groschen or two, he shared it with
Так.
them according to his own rules. Every hen in the coop was paid 5 groschen. Every bee in the hive, 15. And the spider in the loft bagged a full 20 groschen. And now you tell me, how much did the cat get?
Так, давай еще раз.
Tell me the riddle...
Once upon a time, and good man that he... Every hen in the coop was paid 5
Пять.
groschen. Every bee in the hive,
По 15.
15. And the spider in the loft bagged a full 20 groschen. And now you tell me, how much did the
35.
cat get?
35. Не, погоди. Давай еще раз.
Tell me the...
Once upon and every hen in the coop was
5
paid
groszy.
5, every bee in the hive
15.
15,
На
and
10
the
больше.
spider in the loft bagged a full 20 groschen.
Потом на 5.
And now
Потом
you
снова на 30. Скорее всего 30.
30 grosh.
No, but don't dismay.
I think I'll be off.
God be
А сколько ты?
Is there anything?
I think I'll be...
God be
Ну, интересно, ладно, интересно.
Good people, gather round. Believe this, a whole village burnt to the ground. Hell on earth.
You're my doggy, eh?
From here. You have to hear this. In the
Oh,
Silver
you
Scabbards,
nut.
they say, without warning, attacked like human troops in one afternoon.
Ну, тогда мясо у меня, по сути, есть. Пища... Ну да. Что чихать?
Go! Die! Die! Go! Whoa!
at your service.
Мгм.
I'm Henry.
Ignatius, master, looking for a final resting place? You need to bury a dead goat? Or
None of those things. I was just passing by.
the living and the dead? I could write a book, or if the scribe in Troskovitz was in a mood to listen to me for longer than one afternoon.
I had to dabble in your trade a little bit. Buried a young man from the nomad camp who got beaten to death by woodcutters.
I know. Don't think I didn't try to get him for myself. He wasn't baptized, so I couldn't bury him in the cemetery. But he deserved a good place in the ground nonetheless. It gave me a terrible itch. I can't stand unfinished work. The damned woodcutters left him there like a solstice decoration.
I buried him in his favorite place.
You did well. Don't hesitate to bury any other corpses you find left unburied. I can tell right away if a fella...
Мгм.
Are you and the herb woman related?
We're not related. We both got some years behind us, and we're both unclean in our own ways. That's all we have. Different herb women came to me from time to time for hangmans. What they do with them is their own business. But Bozhena ain't like the others. She's an honest herb woman. Do you know why they chased her?
I do.
There's a place called Limbus Infantium. Not even by accident, like Bozhena.
I don't think I'll be going into the... Do you know what happened with the bodies from near the pond?
Who?
Well, you wouldn't know their names. A couple of soldiers that fell there. Where are they?
Oh, aye. They all ended up in a pit together right by the cemetery. Getting them out of there was a grind. They was well fed. You could tell right away there was from...
Yeah, you're...
Not to worry. Earth is earth.
Блин, а можно тебе денежку за это дать? Ты
How's
молодец.
life treating you, Ignatius?
A lot better than it's treating my customers. Come to think of it, the only thing that pisses me off is that once I kick the bucket, that the shoe. All the young folks these days care about is making coin.
You got a big cemetery.
Ain't it? But being the gravedigger, I'll never have a place of my own here. But when I'm dead, I won't care. If it was up to... We're all equal before death and the Lord. This game of...
What's the story?
The story?
But you said there's been a lot of people dying around.
Well, it ain't usual for people to get off by the cartload out here in the stick.
I don't know.
That might be the reason. Look, I'm not suggesting anything. If things keep up like this, I'll be out of work in no...
Being a gravedigger must be a lonely job, eh?
Funny a young lad like you is so interested in gravedigging.
Well, I'm only asking.
That figures. Youngsters these days wouldn't know hard work if it bit 'em on the arse.
Are you offering...
No. I'm giving you...
And how do you know that?
You've got that look. I can...
Could you be more specific?
You just aren't cut out for it, and that's that. A gravedigger needs passion. It's a service. A labour of love.
But seriously, Ignatius.
Gravedigger, knacker, snorter's constant companion, and lover of colourful sunsets. All in one man.
Christian. Улдыга.
You've nearly got more titles than the Emperor himself.
Well, I have been doing it for almost 40 years now. The bailiff pays me well, in coin and sometimes in goods.
Sounds appealing.
Not
Это не
all that
булдыга,
glitters
это
is gold,
улдыга.
lad. A gravedigger's got it hard, and so does a knacker. I pick up dead animals on the side of the road. That's why people say I'm unclean. If I had children, they wouldn't be allowed to marry. It's so ingrained in folk. A fella takes care of things that... can't even...
Have you been a gravedigger your whole life?
I did think about... I wanted to be a knacker in Yitchin, but some fool with friends in high places got the job, though he can't even... That really pissed me off, so I said, fuck it. Why would I want to dig graves for people?
So you've always been here, other...
And what of it? Do you think I get bored here?
I'm not from these parts, and I've seen a few conciliation cross...
The same as where you come from, I reckon. They mark spots where the sins of...
That's an interesting way of...
Aye, like when a fella buries an axe in someone's head over something stupid, or if the law sees to it. The sinner then has to erect a conciliation.
Where does he get the...
Where do you think?
You're in charge of that too?
I know how to cut a cross out of stone. And what of it? With the soft...
So they're all your work?
I wish. I've only sold 2 or 3 recently. You might find a few stories about them in the village chronicle, what's kept at the rat. All I know is a young fella once jumped off the...
Do you know any more?
Aye, I do, but I'm not telling you any.
Применительные кресты.
Unfortunately, I had...
My condolences.
Thank you.
Did you witness their deaths?
Unfortunately.
Oh, I understand that's never easy. But if you closed their eyes and buried them in consecrated ground, you've not...
I dug their grave next to our smithy. We didn't have...
Well, that can't be avoided sometimes. Don't let it bother you. I'm certain their souls went straight to heaven. You needn't...
Ignatius.
Of course. How many are there? Shall we grind the teeth up, or do you want to take them...
None of that. Bonnie from Lower Semine sent me. We're looking for a saltpeter pit.
From Lower Semine?
A saltpeter.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that.
Да нет.
Nah. It's these white crystals form on the walls of it. And that's exact...
Ah, you should have said you're looking for the pit I throw carcasses into. What's all this about salty... I'm going to go there anyway, so I'll take you there.
Really?
Not even a chicken scratches in the dirt without hope of reward. I have some collections from some Slatigo farmsteads, and I'd be able... At least one day I can...
You want me to help you with your grave digging?
Why not? You look like a strong fella.
А давай.
Dragging carcasses. But so be it. I'll help you with it.
grave digging is a job like any other. And if it wasn't for us knackers, folk would have...
Of course, I'm just a little worried about what people will say about me. I wouldn't like to lose the honor I've earned as squire to a no...
Don't worry about what people say. They'll only strip you of your honor. So what then? Shall we take a nice and early? Didn't you understand me? Like I said, be here at daybreak. That's...
Is there some place I can...
Of course, if you've got nothing better to do, if you know how to read, I have a book hidden in the outhouse I got of a dead fella. In fact, you can keep it. All I can do is admire...
And where can I sleep?
At the inn in Truskowitz. Get a good break. Here's a little something so you know I take care of...
Сральня. Блин.
Good day to you. God be with you. Good luck in her new life, and that I hope the wedding went well. What a grand affair it must have been. You know, just normal. Congratulations.
My respects.
Didn't you hear?
Hear what?
About how the wedding went?
Did something happen?
You really don't know. No wonder Thrush went off at you. The whole thing ended in a mighty brawl.
Bloody hell. I ought to go and apologize to Thrush.
Good evening. What do you need, lad?
The humans won't be coming...
Good. Until you get into trouble like...
What's the latest?
Nothing more, and I hope it's...
What do you have for...
О, мыло, кстати. На штучка 6. Уменьшающая кость.
I'd like to discuss... How's this?
Well. Coming right up.
May God give you help, sir.
И как быстро тут все происходит. Неплохо.
Are you whistling just for fun?
Ka!
I'm sorry.
Ka! Ka!
Needs to simmer. I
don't know if I'm
The dew is still on the lip. You don't need your horse. I'll stable in any case. Heavens, hop on the wagon and Snorter and Dragonfly here will... Aesop? Got it all. Good.
Ладно.
Come on then, get a move on.
А, сюда? Окей.
We've got a long journey ahead of us, so get yourself comfortable so your ass won't hurt. So, you say you're from Lower Samine, eh?
Well, you could say that. I help the miller with whatever I can. I've got a place to sleep there. Soon I'll be able to call the miller uncle.
I remember Crazel when he was still a wee lad. Even then he was a great big smart-ass. When I buried his parents, he was traipsing somewhere through the world. Maybe you heard what they say about Lower Samine round these parts. Crazel don't sell short measure, not that. He looks out for his reputation, but his helpers have been seen often in the villages after dark, looking fishy. Or during the day, in the pillories. Don't that bunny of yours belong to that gang too?
Unfortunately, she does. Crazel ordered Bonnie and her accomplice Zinnek to scrape saltpeter off the walls of the sties. And when they had a chance to loiter about in the yards here in the region, well, they made good use of the opportunity to line their purses.
Ay, ay, ay. What have I gotten myself into in my twilight years? Lower Samine's a thorn in the side for a lot of folk. Some on account of the competition. Some is just rubbed up the wrong way by that Crazel. Either way, all they need's the slightest excuse to grab their pitchforks. Go and grab the miller and shove his face right in his own millstone. Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, boys, whoa! Come on. Come on! Are you deaf? Oh, they're acting stubborn again. Now listen, Henry. Here on the left side, you'll see the ruins of a cottage that's been abandoned for a few years.
It looks mysterious. What treasures might be hidden there?
You'll soon see. I have a trap set inside the cottage. I wanted to lure a wolf into it, but that didn't work out. There's a deer rotting there unnecessarily. So hop in there and bring it to the wagon. Finally, at least we're not blocking the road.
Где там же ловушка? Я случайно, видимо, задел барбоса. Вскрыть замок очень сложно. Жесть.
Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
Опа.
I want to talk to you.
I'm coming.
Move it.
What's going on?
Ah, I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving. They should go to lower some...
Two stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and like some scruffy and dunger. You must be...
I'm Henry, and those, names mean...
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, a passion for knacking is the only thing we have...
Is that so?
Take a good look. Do I look like a thief? Or more like a commonplace, maybe just slightly grub? At this rate, you could blame any old peasant who's grimy after a...
I don't know. I don't reckon.
Ask around about me and you'll find out everyone knows I... So enough talk and let's carry on.
All right, we'll be going then. But if you happen to run into them two...
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to... Let's go. Maybe... Did I get this right? Maybe it was the one with that sheep.
Not much left for us to do.
Hopefully our luck will... The next farm's just up ahead. Don't worry.
Ну и чё ты?
That was just a kind of little favor for me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses.
So far, I've just carried sacks. I already did that for the miller.
Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
And then Satan himself appeared in the sky. Happens all the time.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly. Yeah! Yeah!
Хватит лаять.
Here, mutt.
Well, I'm here like I promised. I even have a helper here with me who'll be doing the carrying for me today.
Poor fellow. Where did you dig him up?
He came to me from Lower Sameen.
So I'd better go and stand in the doorway. One eye on him, one on the chest with valuables.
This one's honest. He might even take a look to see what was troubling them pigs.
At first, I thought it was that beast of Visar's that done it, but the pigs weren't bit. So it was definitely a curse.
Curse my arse. From what you said, it had to be poisoning, but it's hard to say from what. But we may just find that out from Henry here. And as far as Visar is concerned, I'm headed there next. I have the stuff with me.
But make sure you take care of it, yeah? I can't bear it much longer.
You ain't the only one. It's been bothering the Nabokov folks, too.
Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? I can smell something upstream. Ah, here it is. Wolves must have killed them. They didn't even eat them up. I'll go and tell Ignatius.
Bloody hell.
Not right.
I'd rather go back to sacks of flour.
Pretty hefty, hey? They lived like royalty here.
Душу свиную дотащить это нелегко. Уж точно.
It really wasn't a curse. They're a rotting... No wonder the pigs caught...
Well, what do you know? I'll give you a hand. It'd take you all night.
this really worth it?
Скорее всего, нет. Тра-та-ра-та-та.
What now?
I took care of the carcasses.
Nice work. There's
Yeah, you'd eat that.
but nicely in the cold. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, let's keep... lads, seeing as how you don't obey me, you're surely horsing around today.
Ой, надеюсь, это
So far,
последнее.
it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course, it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then, you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
I'm sorry, Ignatius, my friend. You can't expect me to do that.
In that case, as soon as we get where we're going, you can just get off the wagon and go and look for that pit yourself. If you don't do what I tell you, you're useless to me. So I'll be useless to you too.
Maybe there's another way. I'll try to come up with something.
Ha! That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me.
Угу.
Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, Sakra. The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to? Barking. He's coming from over there.
What are you doing here, Henry?
Ты
Bonnie,
что здесь делаешь?
What are you doing?
the gravedigger wants me to poison.
Jeez.
Well, what else can I do? You just tactfully neglected to mention that when you and Zinnek were acting as his...
Shit.
This is all I have left to do before he takes me to the salt...
And couldn't you find the pit without that? I'd like to keep him in place of my poor dead...
You're a poor creature is terrible.
It's not the animal. When Zinnek and I were here last, I saw how he doesn't give him food. He abuses him. With a master, you wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick...
Нет.
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how... If you want to take him...
You're a much better Christian. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before...
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair.
It's taken...
Taken care.
The dog is dead.
Dead, eh? And what are you...
Well, I did it exactly how you told me.
Oh, aye.
Well, I dipped the meat in poison. He ate it.
So, it all went how it should. He's done for the big... Let's go.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy. Death always deserves respect.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course. True, it used to be, but then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between, and the better it rots, the more niter you'll have.
I won't. The miller will probably send...
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural, and soon they'll find out there's no
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable.
You're going to
It's the only way I can be certain it...
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over...
Нет.
Settle down in Troskevitz. Build mounds of dead... No thanks.
Here's something that'll definitely come in either with me...
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I've got to see.
Ой, жесть.
You didn't have to make such a feast of it.
Look at me. I'm a lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold. And salty. This must be it.
Жесть.
If you go...
Of course. So there's some more... Jesus Christ be praised.
Tell me then, what did he give you for it?
Sure. Hey, you! Either you have something to sell or we never saw each other.
Sounds
You
interesting.
silly
What happened?
A wheel on our wagon broke.
You're lucky you didn't run into any footpads.
What can we do? We have to make...
I'll be happy to...
Of course.
I'd like to do...
Aye. Happy to be of service, sir.
My humble respects.
You seem like a reason.
Where are you going?
Well, I reckon if you share them with me, it'll make it easier to endure.
I'm glad you know what you're getting. Are you interested in the theory of light?
That's a bit too fast for me. Well, I'll be happy to give...
All right. But don't throw in a few coins and I'll...
Show me... What do you have? Word about the price. How's this?
That's fine.
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, only it's not a pit. The gravedigger Ignatius.
And is it the real...
Yeah. And
Ugh. Oh, come on. You whine more than... I was hoping if I sent 2 wagons, it'll...
What should I do?
That means I could mix...
Crazul, focus.
Oh, sorry. It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest. Certain circumstances have emerged, which...
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much.
So the search...
Not at all. The salt, the origin, chaos.
God.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have to penetrate the diaphanum and find...
Hey?
I'll explain.
So what's the next?
There's a quiet whisper coming from the open. Do you hear it?
I hear it. Graysel's a loony. Graysel's a loony.
Scribe Erzim received a chest from Prague. And in that chest...
Hermes Trismegistos' document?
No, a book. And from an author even more venerable than Hermes. It's thin with a sand-colored cover, embossed. You might say...
So you're gonna have me go and pick some locks?
Did I say anything? When the castle was still closed, I planned to get the book through the castle but now that you have access...
What about that certain woman?
That's old news. He's a great lover. I'm sure he'd be happy to indulge another kindred soul.
Let's hope so. And that I won't have to ride around Trotsky picking up...
Just do your best. The book is the last, but looking back at your 2 previous tasks, go and see Erzim and ask him about the book. Then, best of luck.
I reckon I'll need...
Да. Где у меня сейчас обаяние 30? Так, что-то 30. Неплохо. Стоит ли оно того? В чем дело?
Well. Von Burgov's vassals are gathering, and it looks like a serious force. Sir Otto is clearly as good as his word.
Sir.
Ой, надеюсь, все будет хорошо. Последний раз, когда я здесь был, было не круто.
I'll have you put in the stocks.
Oh, no! Please, my lady, forgive me.
What kind of tasks do you do?
Rare ones, lad. His lordship spends little time at Trotsky. As the royal chamber...
Why does Sir Otto have to...
Because that's the seat of the royal court, and our lord is one of the highest royal officials. Praga caput regni. Prague is the heart of the kingdom. All the political threads come... If you want to be somebody, or to Moravia, to that traitor Jobst of Luxembourg.
Excuse me, but...
And what else should I call a person who only looks...
But now he's fighting for King Wenceslas.
Jobst has changed sides so often it's impossible. But... to give him credit where credit... Wenceslas wasn't even able to hold on to the imperial crown that his father passed on. Yes, indeed. One day, that bloody Margrave... He might even...
What is the royal...
I understand, lad. You're up.
Yeah, exactly.
Sir Otto von Burgo is the royal chamberlain. Subcamerarius, in Latin. He's one of the 9 most powerful officials. He manages the royal towns and monasteries, approves the councillors and...
Why doesn't Lord von Burgo free our King Wenceslas from captivity in Vienna?
It's politics, boy.
All right.
Briefly...
Or maybe you could start with why they captured our king.
That's obvious, isn't it? King Wenceslas's rejection of our high nobility started to annoy them. So, they joined forces with his brother, the Hungarian King Sigismund. A year ago, they got together and captured Wenceslas in Prague. And Sigismund had the royal car. They secretly took the king to Vienna, where his brother is still holding him.
So von Burgov and the others want Sigismund to be king?
Not at all. Soon they discovered they'd miscalculated, and that Sigismund wanted the whole country for himself. I think that's why Lord von Burkhoff received your message.
Who are among...
Who do you think? All the nobles in the league. The most powerful are Henry of Rosenberg, Henry of Hraditz, Boresh of Riesenberg, Bohuslav of Schwamberg, and our Sir Otto von Burghoff.
But we serve Sahanish of Lipa and Radzig Kobyla.
Exactly. They're representatives of the lower nobility, who always stood faithfully by Wenceslas because he handed out royal positions. On the contrary, boy, it's only thanks to politics that von Burg...
I heard some interesting books from Prague. There's one I'd like to borrow. A sand-coloured cover?
Yes, several rare and... But why are you interested in an alchemist?
I've heard there are some interesting... Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of...
Perhaps you know more about... Well, I'll have to disappoint you. And the one you're looking for, he left with it before I could even... All I remember is the author... I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now.
I'll have a talk with Nick Varden.
You think I haven't tried? But since you've already... It seems Nick Vard... I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books, but Nick Vard is old and stubborn.
The price of such a book must be...
But, as I said, Nick Vard is intent... I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently.
For a nobleman, Nick Vard is quite...
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone. Nick Vard is a loner. Which is also why I suspect something... Now that he's decided to leave his... But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since...
I thought you had the book on you.
That's a pity. Yeah, I'll just have to hope... Continue investing. I might have time for that once the papal schism is over.
Спроси кухарку, что ей известно о ней.
Do you know where I can find Nick Vard?
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nick, but when I need him to read something from... I'm sorry.
I was asking about...
Aye, I heard you.
I can.
In that case, would you mind
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chain. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Ah, never mind. Read on.
Persevere. We shall soon escape cursed fate, however. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides be... But when the last remnants of old age left my body... Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secret. Fear not, I shall get them. May this be the first task on the road to your... That's it.
Бред.
That was complete...
Imagine how I...
But... what does it mean?
Lord, I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a no... But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion. So I suppose...
I know the book he's talking about, but what is...
Look, can we stop talking about this?
I need help.
No! And...
Конюх.
May God give you health, sir.
Кухарка. Кухарка внутри, как я помню. Все спят, поди. Ты, конечно, помылся, как обойдя, такая помывка. Логично.
No great loss. It wasn't that good anyway.
What do you want at this time?
Good evening, my friend. What do you need?
Понятно. Воин, воин.
Stop fooling around.
Ухожу. Раньше здесь спать мог. Это тут все мое. Ладно.
Greetings, sir.
У какой кухарки? Прикол, что я сама не... У этой вот кухарка Фанька есть. И кухарка Монета. Какая еще нахрен кухарка? Скажите мне, я скажу вам. Сука, кухарку еще искать. Мэйби здесь. А, вот ты.
God be with you.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scroll.
Well, I brewed him another file of... I told him to stop by for another one.
Did he say where?
I can't say.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And...
Listen, Bert.
Mm-hmm.
I truly respect... I'm in the service of a nobleman myself. And I know what's expected of us in cases like these. Whether it's Nickvard's illness, or both carry equal weight when spoken about. I stand by my prin...
Lord Libac's troubles can hardly compare. It's really quite a...
So you'll tell me then?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. In that regard, Lord Libac had... Everything came out much...
Just say it.
It was in the privy down below the crone. By the training, I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on me. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters. Though it's but this time...
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire... It happens to the best of us. And I must say, he did look as if...
I don't know if this is going to do me.
Well, you...
Thanks anyway.
Конюх здесь или конюх там? Но по логике еще он должен быть там. Либо здесь. Это Ярек. О, это частная территория. Валим.
You silly doggy.
Ну ладно.
What can you do, sir? Maybe now. How can I help you?
Понятно, нет, не ты. Где, сука, конюхи? Может тут? Нет, я убегаю. Это где-то здесь. Сука, иди чертов конюх.
So, how... Sir Otto hired me in Prague as his bodyguard and a swordmaster for the... I reckon he sensed he was in danger. A band of scoundrels was lying in wait for him.
How was your company ambushed?
It was well planned, I must admit.
What went wrong for it?
Hard to say. Maybe we were just lucky.
That's all there was to...
If you really want to know what I think. The idiots...
What do you mean?
It might have come down to a single fool's mistake. I don't know. But if, like I say, I thank the...
I'd like to look.
That's no problem. I'll show you a few tricks. But you're not part of the garage.
Нет.
I'd like to look.
Why not?
Черская пощечина. Ну-ка,
If you
давай.
are not afraid of fist fights, I'll show you a little trick. It is actually... I was taught it by a good old Franciscan, back when I was... But of course, first, you kick your opponent between the legs and pretend you're losing your balance. But at that moment, it won't put a blow down. Now come and try it a few times.
Угу.
Good. You've really got a knack for it. Keep it up, my friend.
Черская пощечина, вот она впереди. Лево. Вниз, вправо.
God be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
God be with you. How's the watch going?
Not too bad. It'd be better if it wasn't raining, though.
Конюх, конюх, конюх. Где же этот чертов конюх? Угу. Угу. Говнюк должен быть где-то здесь.
At your service.
Excuse me.
the water.
But the river there has a power.
Кажись, вон он.
Dead man floating down the river. Exactly. And that's not all.
You're always welcome here.
Да, вот он.
Day to you. I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libac. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing. Hmm?
What do you mean from
Nick Libac, that is. He's a castle lord. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning. Von Berghoff. And he says there's a war on.
I need to know more about what Nick...
No. There are new rules.
What are you blathering?
Von Berghoff said. I told him, watch out for spies. You're a spy, you...
I'm not.
Ha! That's why you have to be vetted. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses.
Tell me what you want from me then.
A sword.
Sword? Hmm? What sword?
A long and very good one. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an forge one, buy one, maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate.
Steal a sword?
Not a spy who wants to help Von Berg, my servant. Once I get a sword, I'll fill you...
Listen, Hirsch.
Don't try any word games on me. Deeds talk louder than words.
I'll think of a way.
Тесак тебе, надеюсь, сойдет.
About Nick got that...
You wanted a...
I don't want an...
Блин, я не хочу ему
I'll
платить.
think of a...
Говнюк, собака.
Aye, true enough. I need to pay the tithe and give something to the church. My father's requiem mass.
Isn't it a bit early for that? It's ages till St. Wales.
Не хочу ему платить. Я лучше так. Длинный меч. Ой. Блин, нужна свиная кожа.
I need...
Fuck.
I'm glad you found what you were looking for. Good to see you.
Kurva. Burning it.
Не то немного хотел я сделать. Перепутал кнопки.
This will take a bit longer.
About Nick got that.
You wanted to...
That's perfect. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure.
What about Nickvar?
Nickvar asked me to do something for him. Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. And I told him I would. At least I could. But then Nickvar clutched his belly and ran off.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvar, I'll be going into war soon.
I'll tell him.
Это в туалете.
So this is where Istvan landed. I hope it hurt, you bastard.
Standing over the body. What a fucking day.
You must
My
be Nick
respects.
Faraday. Poor wretch.
Good doggy. Good boy. Another senseless death. Ugh. It's starting to stink.
Sand-coloured cover, embossed. That'll be the book Crazer wants. But it's quite ordinary.
What a fucking...
Apart from being covered in shit.
Yeah, just you. You pooch.
God bless.
I have the book.
Well, I must admit, I haven't had an apprentice this handy in a long time. Zinnik has nothing on you.
I didn't even look inside.
You had a treasure like this in your hands, and you weren't even curious to have a peek? Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. This really... But why is it all covered in shit?
Let's just say this it actually was under it. Really.
Oh, refining saltpeter. Boil water. Well, the last chapter of our...
So what now?
Charcoal. As long as Black Bertolt didn't make any mistakes in his calc...
What Bertold? Oh, God damn it. I'm tired of flying back and forth like a rag on a stick. I won't be led around by the nose. Will you finally...
Believe it or not, all this secrecy had its It's time. We'll meet with the others. You go ahead.
All right, then.
You're my doggy, eh?
Good boy. Good boy. Хе-хе. Воровство. Вот это хотя бы. Единственное, что у меня фиговое, это владение древником и меткость. Я просто особо не стрелял. Вот и все. Коняшка, иди сюда.
Quick! Gah! Quick!
What'll happen now?
Our last supper, with only one, but very...
Crazel, please. For once.
And rob myself? Tell me yourself.
Like always. You're...
He knows you now as well as we do, Miller.
I do tend to do that, true enough. But no, Bonnie will start today. At least I'll finally see if she understands. Bonnie?
First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the... We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. So, it's time we started being honest with you.
Not yet. Let's pull up that... That's the
I already have an idea of what... Those lead balls, the alchemical talk, sulfur... I've had the finger of God aimed at me once.
The finger of God? Damn it, Henry. That's von Berghoff's Prague wonder. What did...
And when have you ever told me straight up about anything?
If I'd known you were that experienced, I'd have spoken to you differently.
You can start now, then. And I want to hear it from...
Let's start at the beginning. My father was a miller as well, but I was never much interested. Even as a young boy, I loved running around Lower Samine and investigating. And my mother, God rest her soul, just as soon as I grew up and gained a bit of...
So you went to a university in Prague?
Why not? My father worked his arse off, and he had the coin. I met a lot of remarkable people at the university, but in the end, it only took a year of all that pretentious, scholarly blah. Most of the students and masters are just a bunch of dogmatic fools. They have their own truth, as was my case.
And what about your...
I realized I didn't need the university. The most important science is not subject to any religious... The art of combination and dissolution. The key to understanding the very nature of the world. I returned to the mill in Lower Samine.
What did your parents say when you were...
My mother had already passed away. All my father said was, I think in the end he was glad to have some... From then on, I brought a few important books from Prague. I started with the most difficult thing. I tried to create...
That was pretty...
As you might expect, it didn't work. But after a few tries... Once I tried mixing sulfur, charcoal, and saltpeter. I had a candle burning that... I almost shit myself, I tell you. But then explosive...
I knew right away this wasn't about anything supernatural.
Well, we may have underestimated you a bit. But it was not...
I couldn't continue my experiments on my own. But Bonnie and Zinnik did a few little jobs.
So he initiated...
But we just still didn't know how to do it right.
And we used up a...
By the way, the manuscript from that Hermes Trismegistos was our shopping list and price list for material from Kuttenberg.
Only we didn't know correct proportions. I looked up a few, and we found out that before...
Some fella called Black Bear told, and that he even started writing a...
Feuerwerkbuch.
We can believe our luck when we found out there's a copy of it right here.
And you know...
It's a discovery that will change history. In the right hands, it can make... All it takes is a spark, and a storm of fire will sweep away the...
And what will happen?
As I said, we're about to have our last supper on our journey. Black Berthold never finished his book, because he never had enough. But now, thanks to you, we do. We'll see with our own eyes what a barrel of black powder can do.
Before we get started, this book... For
everything you'd want to know about black powder, how to mix it in the... and especially how to use it in war.
Do you really need that much?
We do. Saltpeter makes up. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us.
What is it you're gonna do?
During wartime, like it is now, a flammable... If we had a few big barrels of the stuff, we could demolish Trosk.
All of us here are truly passionate about the idea.
What is it you study?
I was supposed to become a...
That fits you.
God has a path prepared for each of us.
У него
And
шевелится
each of us here decided not
эта
to follow
штука.
it.
I was supposed to be a dyer, but I was too
Мельника.
lazy to work 6 days a week and soak my hands in lye.
I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't.
And I've already told you everything.
How did a scholar and an alchemist...
Prague is a big city, and a poor student has no chance. Learning to shop with 5 fingers was the first requirement for survival.
I've heard enough. Now I want to see that.
Let's do it then.
Indeed, it is.
Ну давай, даже интересно. Может, на войне, кстати, это пригодится. Как долго?
Looks like it ain't working.
Классика.
I'd say it works just fine.
This will change history.
What?
Факту.
I can't hear a thing. But I'd say it works just fine.
You really led me on about the gunpowder magazine. A golem made of dough, souls inside saltpeter.
Not exactly. It's all based on the real philosophy of the Jewish Kabbalah. I studied the writings of Bonaventura and Dietrich von Freiburg, but they worked brilliantly as a cover-up, don't you think?
Нет.
I reckon I played the fool well, if you thought I was falling for your delusions all along. I worked for Conrad Keyser himself, just so you know. And he never tried anything like that.
Keyser? Fancy that. Next time I'll play it safe and stick to the classics.
So for the last time, Crazel,
I'll do what I promised. And I'm going to gather together all the knowledge I've acquired.
Uh-huh.
That's up to you, Henry. Lord Samin has no hold over you. You know, the inevitability of God's plan takes no interest.
That sounds somehow hopeful in a peculiar... Now I'm even happier about the great...
The ideal, maybe it's time to carry sacks at it. But if you're still interested in learning a bit more...
I know where to...
Indeed.
То бишь, все. Верно? Эти топоры сказки. А, ну да.
Good doggy. Good boy.
Do you know of any...
The only thing you can do in this backwater, but go and ask those woodcutters on the opposite hill.
Why the wood...
Just think about it. They've been cutting timber in the middle of nowhere for a pretty long... They work all day long and don't move an inch.
I think I know what you're getting at.
All their earnings must be hidden somewhere in their...
I like the way you think.
But if you're stupid enough to get caught, don't say a word. First, I'd lose my job.
Don't you worry.
Careful. Greetings.
So how's it go?
Good.
Anything new at the...
Not really.
Are you still organized?
Aye. Do you want to join?
Понятно.
See you later, my friend.
Короче, снова можно подраться. Вечная драка.
I can't swim.
Все, одежду постирали.
Go!
Now you're gonna die!
Ты дурак?
Sick! I've been... Show what you're made of. Take that!
You're no match for us, fucker! Now that's what I call an opener!
Show what you're made of! Fuck you!
Ублюдок.
Go! Go!
где-то внизу.
Sit. Stay.
Everyone get over here! We've got an intruder!
Идеально. Все-таки, если они очень близко друг к другу спят, слышно. Это я так знаю. Кстати, материалы. Да похер как-то. Сильно знаю погибель, слабая колыбельная снадобье. Погибель, слабая снадобье, погибель. Да, лучше не царапим.
Good to see you.
Энергия есть. Почитаем, значит.
God bless you, sir.
Порох для пули.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. Greetings. What brings you?
Aye, almost done.
May God give you health, sir.
Who just came barging? What is it you need? What is it you need?
Блин, мне его только ждать.
A good day. Till we meet again.
Огнышко.
What are you doing here?
А чё вы меня выгоняете-то?
What's it like, sir?
I can't complain. The old lord's such a good sort. And his son, older. Well, take care, friend.
God be with you.
I took care.
Seriously? So you brought me his...
Of course.
Yeah, that's it. Just as filthy and slimy as his... Here you go. It's not much.
Would you mind if I kept... if you've... Thanks.
Hold your horses, lad. Those bastards...
Fine.
Take care for now. That's it. Go now.
Замечательно.
Good day to you.
Топор. Какое-то новое задание.
At your service.
Ah, sir.
I hear you got a...
I'd say so. You will help us, won't you? The Voivode's life is at stake. They want to...
What?
Jagalokosh. Some at night it takes sleep away from him. Eats away the...
A curse? That sounds more like a job...
I can't help him. But you can, and I'll tell you how.
Some kind of...
Almost. I'll take 3 lumps of coal. 3 breadcrumbs. Such water will lift even the worst of curse.
So you know what to do. Fine. Then pour the water on a dung heap.
Why would I get rid of it when I can use...
What good is such
It's good for you, Miromanush. You'll forge Karo, a saber for the Voivode. Make it, and then you'll quench the saber.
I think I...
The curse in the saber must then gain strength to protect the Voivode. It must taste blood before the Voivode, but it all depends on who...
You don't expect me to go and...
Devlale, no!
I could cut off the head of a chicken or something.
A chicken doesn't have much blood in it. But, recon. There were some running around down below the camp. Dirty.
I don't know.
How do you mean? What don't you like? Did you want a job? You did. And we'll pay...
I can forge a saber, aye. But what...
He can't. The curse was meant for him. The Voivode... You have to give it a drink of blood yourself.
All right, then.
Mishtores. Good, but first forge the saber. And do your best. And here's your sewed water.
Ой, я пса где-то оставил. Я пса оставил. Вот ты где, блин. Ну, как раз сейчас не сгоняю за тобой. Песа нельзя оставили-то. Не трогайте.
Go!
Quick!
Whoa! Whoa!
Песа забрал. Окей. Нет, блин, кузницы. Ближайшие есть. Сушение, коптильня. Купальни. Блин, походу только в Тахо я понял Тахов. Что делать-то?
Maidens and women of virtue, gather round and listen.
Угу.
Good doggy, good boy.
My respects.
Well, I'm about half done.
Damn weather.
Looks like it's almost done.
Pissing down rain again.
All finished.
Убить саблей собаку. Такая глупость. Ну, на самом деле, да, это просто надо это. Может, не собаку? Может, просто волка убить? Да и все делов-то. Вместо волки еще рядом.
Greetings, sir. Oh, you mutt.
You're always welcome.
Careful!
Devlamir, why are you...
About that set.
Have you forged?
It's ready.
What about...
I killed a dog. I did everything. Here you go. I think I did.
Shukariben. Beautiful. You're probably waiting. Here, just take it. And here's something for you to wear. Let us...
Thank you.
Ah, at least it'll be clear to all. You're one of ours.
What do you mean?
When the Voivod was washing away the curse, I looked. That means the Voivod was...
A woman?
The calls didn't say. But enough of that. I'm sure you have enough on your plate.
Шляпа бродяги. Скупщик.
What would you like?
I'll have a...
Let's talk about the wow.
accept. That's finally. Thank you, sir. And come again.
Greetings, sir.
Видимо, когда Красиду приобрел этот навык, тогда и это. Ладно, я типа потом займемся. Пойдем в другой регион. Этим мне заниматься не хочется. Мы сделали тут все, что хотели.
You silly doggy. Jesus Christ.
I need to get to the...
Get ready to spend a few... Cost of those bloody bandits. We got to take all... But if you got the time...
Here you go.
All right, I'll get the carriage. Good. The carriage...
Let's get going.
Судов. Угу. Какое-то новое задание еще появилось. Ладно, это потом. Мне уже пора скоро спатьки.
I apologize.
Good. Что ж. На этом, пожалуй, все, дорогие друзья. Всем спасибо, кто меня посмотрел и посмотрел в дальнейшем. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь, ёпта. А то не гора. Всем до скорой встречи, пока-пока.